something. I'll update you guys in a while. Okay guys, hopefully you can hear me. I am in the ER. Woke up this morning with like super intense pain. Like my bladder was really full. So got up, went to pee, but the pain after I peed just got more and more intense. I started getting nauseous, the cold sweats. Was pretty sure, I'm sorry, waiting for a CT scan to come in. I was pretty sure I was gonna throw up. So got in position for that. Nothing came up, but they were probably the worst dry heaves I've ever had in my life. So I had to call Scott home from work because I couldn't move. So he brought me up here. They won't let him in here with me. So it's just me in the room by myself, which I don't like. And now we're waiting for, they're gonna do a CT scan and an ultrasound. I talked to Dr. E. She's concerned that because of OHSS, she's concerned that my ovary, one or both of my ovaries could have twisted, which requires surgery. So we'll find out after the tests if that's what's gonna happen. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's just, I don't know, anything else. So that is the update. That's what's going on right now. They brought me pain medication. So as you can see, my eyes are dilated now. Morphine and Valium. So still having the pain. It's starting to ease up though, so that's good. So I will update you guys as I find out more. Hey guys, so I'm home now. So just to give a rundown on what happened, I woke up this morning and it felt like my bladder hurt. Like I had to pee really bad and had held it for too long. So I hurried up, got dressed, went to the bathroom and peed, but that pain did not go away and it wouldn't go away. It was like the most intense stabbing, like cramps I've ever had in my life. And I've always had really bad cramps because I get cysts on my ovaries. So that was horrible. And with cramps, they like come in waves. So you'll get like cramps and you'll be like, oh crap, that hurts. Okay, it's calming down. All right, we're good. But this didn't calm down. All of a sudden I got to a point where I started getting the cold sweats and my mouth started watering and it was kind of like, shit, I'm gonna throw up. So I got to the toilet so that I could throw up, but it was just the worst dry heaving I have ever had in my life. And then on top of that pain that wouldn't go away and your whole body's contracting, it was horrible. And then I don't know if I started hyperventilating or what, because it was really hard to take like a deep breath because it hurt so bad. I wasn't crying, I wasn't freaking out. I was kind of freaking out, but I was trying to keep my breathing steady, but because I couldn't take normal breaths, like my fingernails, they look normal now, but like my fingernail, the nail beds were like purple. So, and it was because I wasn't getting enough oxygen. So I had to call Scott and tell him, I'm like, hey, I need you to come home. And he's like, I can't come home right now because he was at work. And I know that they've been busy. They were off for so long. I'm like, I either need you to come home right now or I have to call an ambulance because there was no way I could get myself over there. So he left to come home and took me up there. We got up there. He helped me get checked in. But then the crappy part was, as much pain as I was in and as freaked out as I was, he could not stay with me. He had to leave. He was able to get me in there, get me kind of situated in the waiting room, which was empty. It was kind of, I haven't obviously been in a hospital for anything like that in a couple years, but at least since the COVID-19 stuff happened. So it was just crazy how it looked, but he had to leave. He eventually messaged me and said, hey, since they won't let me come in there, can I go wait at home? Because we just went to the hospital that's like blocks from our house. I'm like, yeah, go home. There's no reason to sit in your truck that whole time. I was in there for 7 hours. So I got in there. They got pain meds in me, but they gave me morphine, Valium, which I don't think I've ever had before, and Zofran. So I got the calming feeling, I assume, from the Zofran, or not the Zofran, from the, oh boy, somebody's dog just took off, running across the street. And now the lady's running after it. Hopefully they catch it. They were a really busy street, like a block over. And I'd hate for that dog to run over there. Where was I? They gave me I got the calming feeling kind of from the Valium, but the pain, it didn't ease up the pain at all. And then I just tried to give it time because what else are you gonna do? They already tried to give me something. But then they took me for ultrasound to check everything out. I had explained to them that I had my surgery on Tuesday, and it was kind of frustrating because like the two nurses I talked to, the ultrasound tech and the doctor, none of them knew what I was talking about. I told them that I had egg retrieval surgery and that I was on meds to prevent OHSS and all that stuff, and they all kind of looked at me like I was crazy. So finally I just gave the doctor, when he came in, Dr. E's phone number and said, call her. She knows what's going on. She can explain to you what procedures were done and what we need to look for. So thankfully, he was able to call her. He was a super nice doctor, and the nurses were nice too. It was just frustrating that they didn't know. So, and then of course she started calling, Dr. E started calling me to check on me and see what was going on. So the big concern was that I had OHSS, and because the normal amount of eggs retrieved in egg retrieval is like 12 to 15, but they were able to retrieve 21 from me, that meant that my ovaries are much bigger than what they normally would be. They're huge. So the biggest concern was that one of them had, because it was so big, that it had twisted, which causes extreme pain and ultimately emergency surgery, or you will, like, well, even with emergency surgery, you could lose that ovary, but it could be really, really bad. So they did the ultrasound. They were able to, the lady caught the dog. They were able to see that everything looks okay, and then they did a CT scan just to be safe. The pain was still really intense, especially after that ultrasound, because of the pressure. She wasn't being like rough or anything. I was just like super tender. So they came back in and gave me Toradol, which is just an NSAID. It's not like a narcotic or anything, and that helped almost immediately. So they discharged me, sent me home with a prescription for pain meds that I can take if I need to, but Dr. E suggested taking like just taking ibuprofen or Tylenol or something like that. Hang on, I'm gonna see if this lady needs some help. Okay, I'm back. I had to check. She caught the dog and she was pulling it back past the house, but I couldn't tell if she was holding it by its collar or by like its neck. Not like choking it, but like just trying to hold on to the dog. And she kept stopping, so I went out there just to ask if she needed a leash to try and help get the dog home. She said she was okay. She lived close by, so. But now I don't remember where I was. So we'll just go with the Toradol helped the pain a ton. The CT scan came back. Everything looked pretty good. So they went ahead and discharged me. Scott wasn't allowed in there the whole time. I think I already said that, but it sucked. He wasn't allowed in there, so he kept texting me. Of course, he's worried, trying to find out what's going on too. Excuse me. So they discharged me, and I gave him a call, and thankfully, like I said, we only live a couple blocks from this hospital, so he was able to come right over. But it was funny because I texted him and I said, geez, everybody in my neighborhood has lost their damn minds today or something. Missed your turn, so you have to slam on the brakes like a psychopath. I texted him and I said, discharging me. And he said, on my way. And before I got a chance to respond to let him know, like, they just told me they're discharging me, so it's going to be a few minutes. He texted me again and said, I'm here. Okay, they haven't come in yet to take my IV out or give me the paperwork or anything, so it's still a few minutes. But the ER doctor said basically everything looked okay. He was going to send me home with some pain meds. He had already discussed with Dr. E what the results of everything were. And she was perfectly comfortable with me going home and just resting. And then just a little bit ago here, Dr. E called me to check on me again and just see how I'm feeling now. So I told her, and I told her that the second, not the morphine, but the other, the anti-inflammatory, is the one that like helped immediately. And she said, yeah, it's because it's like swelling and stuff. And she said that morphine doesn't do crap for things like that. So she basically just told me that she wants me on bed rest for the rest of the weekend. She doesn't want me getting up. She doesn't want me doing anything. So she's on call this weekend. I've got her cell phone number now because part of the issue this morning was I kept trying to call their office and it wasn't going through even to the answering service because they weren't open yet. So she's like, here's my cell phone number. That way, if anything like this ever happens again, and hopefully it doesn't, you can just call my cell phone and get a hold of me. Sorry, I'm still a little bit shaky from everything. It's like 5:30 now. So Scott left. Our niece bought her first house with her boyfriend. So I think they closed on the house yesterday or Wednesday, but they're moving in tonight. So Scott left to go help them out a little bit, which is awesome. I'm kind of sad. I want to go see it, but there'll be plenty of time. I'll go see it after I don't feel like I'm dying. So that's exciting for them. And then I think that's about it. Yeah, I'm still supposed to start my shots on Sunday. Nothing changed there. My refill should be here tomorrow. I got my cover, not that that has anything to do with today's drama, but an exciting thing is I got my cover for my computer today and it's super cute. So I'll put it on in a little while when I can move around a little bit. But that's about it. Oh, another thing that happened in there was, so they first put my IV in my right arm and the nurse had said, be careful with your arm. But I thought, okay, I've had IVs a million times before. It's not like I was doing like freaking exercises or something, but I did bend my arm a few times and they took me for the ultrasound. And then when I came back, it was really hurting. And I thought, okay, well, I just bent my arm for too long maybe. So I kept it straightened out, but it just kept hurting more and more and more. And then I looked at my arm and it had like, it almost looked like stretch marks, just the way that the redness was going kind of up my arm. And I felt it and there was a lump, like a big lump. So I pushed the little call button and they came in. And at some point I had bent so much or too hard or something to the point where the little thing that stays in your vein for an IV had popped through the vein and it was just putting the saline just into my, I don't know, my arm. So she had to come in and pull that out. They left it out for a while and then it went down pretty quickly and it doesn't hurt anymore, which is good because that kind of hurt for a little while. But that is it for today's video. I am going to just rest, drink some water, just kind of hang out and try and recoup. I have a headache because anytime I ever get anything like morphine, I always end up with a headache. So my dad has texted me again, so I'm gonna respond to him. He was just checking in, seeing how I'm feeling because him and Scott work together. So when Scott had to leave, he had to go let his supervisor, which is my dad, know that he had to hurry up and leave and that something was wrong with me. So my dad, of course, is checking on me and wants to know if I'm okay. So I will catch you guys. I probably won't record tomorrow or Sunday because I usually record Monday through Friday. But I will catch you guys. I'll record if anything happens, but being on bed rest during COVID-19 and Scott having to work tomorrow, I don't think anything exciting is going to happen. So I apologize that you have to look at this, but it's been a long day. So if you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment, whatever you want, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.